What's up, guys? It's Brian. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
He's got it. Hey guys, Mila Clark-Buckley, the Hangry Woman here, and I am back from vacation, which has been really nice, a great pause point, but it also inspired me to do this video today, which is about traveling with diabetes. Before we get started, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram at the Hangry Woman, and I also wanted to thank my patrons. They are people who pledge a subscription, support my channel, and support my content. People are always asking me, how can I support? What can I do to support your channel? Patreon is one of those ways, so the link is down in the description if you feel like you want to. Okay, and with that, let's get to our travel talk for today. It has been a really, really long time since I've hopped on a plane and I've gone somewhere. And I think that's so true for all of us. It's just not the norm right now to travel, and we've had this trip planned for a really long time. Both Brian and I are vaccinated, so we both felt protected enough. We both also wear our masks everywhere, sanitize our hands, hand wash all the time. So we do everything that we can, and granted, that's not, you know, the only prevention, but we do what we can. And then knowing we're vaccinated, we feel like we both have that extra level of protection to be able to travel and do fun things. In addition, the thing that we really went to Colorado for was a concert, and the concert required people to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test within 48 hours of the concert. So we felt safe in that manner as well. It was, I mean, you were checked at the door, you had to bring your vaccination card to show them. They, you know, checked it off, read it and everything. So, you know, I felt really good about that, even though I was a little bit scared of that prospect. But in terms of the actual travel, there were just so many things that I was like, oh yeah, these are all the things I need to think about when I'm traveling, especially having diabetes, because it's a different world when you travel and you're not at home. You don't have access to all of your supplies and all of your stuff. So you really have to plan ahead and think about what you're going to do. So I wanted to give you some tips that I had thought of before travel. As always, if I have missed something or forget something, like this is just from my own experience. So leave it down in the comments below, because people read the comments, we all learn from each other, and you could help somebody just by sharing what you know. So first things first, usually when you get on the plane, you're allowed one checked bag and one personal item. But if you have a bag of medical supplies, you can also bring that with you. So you can tell the agent at the gate ahead, hey, I have, you know, my carry-on, I have this backpack or purse, and I also have my medical supply bag. They'll let you carry that on with you and have that as a separate personal item. You just have to let them know ahead of time. In addition, never check your bag with your medical supplies. You always want that bag on you, because although airlines usually get your stuff to the destination it's supposed to go to, if there's a delay or if you miss your flight, your bag is gonna get redirected to the wrong place, and you don't want that to be your bag of medical supplies. If it's your bag of clothes or with your makeup, or, you know, with like your books, your personal items that you have, whatever, but you never want that to be your medical bag. So you always need to carry that on your person, just to ensure that it doesn't get lost and it's always with you. Because the last thing you want is to get to your destination and then realize, like, I don't have my pen needles, I don't have my oral medication, I don't have my insulin, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. And so you just want to make sure that you're able to have all of your stuff with you, carried on, and it's not going to get lost. Another tip is to take more medication with you than what you actually need. And I say this because lately it seems like airlines, it just seems like everything is out of whack. And so flights are being delayed. Sometimes you'll get stuck at a layover. I've had a situation where I got stuck in Reno for an extra 2.5 days because my flight, like my connecting flight, was canceled to Houston, and then there wasn't another flight out of Reno until 2.5 days later to get me to Houston because everything was so booked at the time. So it's really important that you bring extras with you, because if you happen to get stuck and, you know, I think it's more rare than common to get stuck. But if you happen to get stuck, you are at least prepared. You at least have enough of your medication and what you need to be able to get you home. If you're in a situation where you're stuck and you're without medication, you can always, like, some of the things you can do are, you know, like I've like tweeted before, what do I do? Like I've left my insulin at home before. Stupid mistake. Took it out of my bag, put it on the counter, had all of my medical supplies like in this bag together, realized as I was like 3/4 of the way to the airport that I had left my insulin. So I tweeted and I asked, like, what do you do? Or like, is there anybody that I can meet up with, or, you know, something like that. And so many people gave me the great advice, like, call your doctor, tell them what happened. They can give you an emergency prescription for a pharmacy near where you're going to be, like near your hotel or near your, you know, area that you're staying, where you can go and pick it up in person. And it helps to be able to give you an emergency stash for that time period. So, I mean, it happens to everybody, but just know you do have options if you end up running out of medication while you're on vacation because you got stuck. But I always bring extra. I don't bring, you know, if I'm traveling for 4 days, I'll bring 7 days of medication. You know, I'll just like ensure that just in case something happens, I at least have extras and I'm not stressing and worrying about it. Because when you're on vacation, you just want to like party, you want to have fun. You don't want to be worrying about like, how am I going to get to the pharmacy to get my medication, or I'm running out, or like, what are my blood sugars going to be like? You can avoid all that by just planning ahead a little bit. Make sure to have snacks with you and also take your own water bottle. You can walk through TSA with your own water bottle. It just has to be empty first. And then once you walk through, you can usually go fill it. There's tons of water stations, places in the airport to be able to fill that bottle. That just ensures that you stay hydrated and you keep hydrated. You can also get yourself snacks while you're in the airport, just in case you have a low. I constantly am carrying like a sleeve of Starburst or a pack of Skittles, something that's like fast acting sugar, just in case I go low. And then I also just get snacks to eat, almonds, like, you know, nut butter and fruit, whatever, at like the airport little stores. Those stores almost never have like super diabetes friendly snacks, in my opinion. Like, you can find like nuts and stuff, but that's about it. Everything else is like candy or chips or like, you know, big bags of gummies, like stuff that isn't necessarily blood sugar friendly. So you can also bring your own snacks, and that's okay. As long as they're solid snacks, it's okay to have them in your carry-on bag. Liquids, you're always going to want to make sure you dump out, or don't even take them before you get to TSA. And then once you get through it, you can always go get stuff to like replenish your snack collection and ensure that you're going to be good to go. Airlines also allow for some extra pre-boarding time for people with disabilities and people who need it. So if you feel like you need that extra pre-board time, you can check in, you know, when you get to your gate, and let them know that you'd like the extra time for pre-boarding. I don't ever find that I need it. I just board with my group because I usually don't have like big bags of medical supplies or like extra stuff that I have to bring with me at all. But if you do need that time, you do have it to be able to use, and you're entitled to use it if you need it. I'd also say that you should plan out your eating excursions before you go. So instead of winging it and doing it on the fly, which is also possible, I do that all the time. Like, I plan out everything I want to eat, and then I find this other place and I'm like, oh, I want to go there instead. And then I just kind of have to adapt. But if you plan ahead, you can kind of look at the menus, you can see what's out there, see what you like, see what's going to be blood sugar friendly for you, see what's going to work within the bounds of your goals and the way that you eat. And it just takes a little bit more of the stress off of you. Whenever you're on vacation, like, every meal is out basically. So you want to be able to kind of be prepared for that, have a list of like the things that you know in your mind that you want. Some people are great at doing it on the fly. So some people are just like, I can arrive to this restaurant, I'll look at the menu, I know exactly what's going to work for me, and that's good. I've sort of gotten to be that person, but sometimes it's great to just do the little bit of planning ahead just to ensure that like you're really good to go. And lastly, bring comfortable shoes, comfortable for walking, for hiking, whatever you need, just to ensure that your feet and your legs stay comfortable and you don't get any like blisters or cuts on your feet while you're on vacation. I actually have a pair of house shoes that I bring. I don't ever walk around barefoot in my hotel. I have little house slippers that I wear just to, just to be sure that like I'm not stepping on anything, or that like my feet aren't exposed to anything that I don't want them to be. And I think it's really important to just be mindful of that foot care while you're on vacation. You never want to be like uncomfortable wearing shoes that pinch or rub against your feet and your legs. You always want to be sure that you have like the most comfortable shoes possible. Also, I have TSA pre-check, so I never have to usually take off my shoes, but I have had an instance where I wore a pair of heels that had a metal buckle on them. And so when I went through TSA, they made me take my shoes off to put them on, and they were like open-toed shoes. I was so mad, so I've never made that mistake again. So if you're not gonna wear socks, because you have a cute pair of heels on, be sure that you wear shoes that don't have metal, that aren't going to set the metal detector off, and just ensure that you're doing the safest things for you and being mindful. I think that I thought about all day when I had to take off my shoes that time, how I had to walk through where all the people had walked through with their nasty shoes, and I had to walk through barefoot because I didn't have socks. So it's like one of those things that you're like, I'll never make this mistake again. So just ensure comfortable shoes. If you're going through TSA, nothing with metal on them, and just be as careful as you can. Wear socks or house slippers in your hotel room, things like that. Editing Mila here. I wanted to add one more thing because people always ask if you wear a CGM or any kind of device, typically you're okay to go through the x-ray scanner. The literature of the devices say that you shouldn't do it, but I have done it like 100 times, honestly, because it's just easier. It's easier than saying I'm wearing this thing and then them pulling you to the side and having to swab it and like prove that it's fine to go through with. So I just go ahead and go through both the x-ray scanner and the full body scanner. It's totally fine. If you wear a tubed insulin pump, you may have to suspend delivery for just a minute, unclip your insulin pump and put it into the basket, just to be able to walk through the machine. But if you're wearing a CGM, you're usually fine to go through any of those full body scanners. That was a big one that I can't believe I didn't talk about, but I'll send you back to the video now. And that's it, guys. If you have any other tips that you have about traveling or things that you do that make your travel life a little bit easier, please be sure to leave it down in the comments below. I'm sure that everybody who's here would love to see it. I would love to see it. I always love travel hacks and anything that makes my life a little bit easier when I travel, but I thought that I would share these with you after having just gotten on and off several planes and finally having my feet back on the ground. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up or subscribe if you found this information helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.